Welcome back, and in today's in-depth tutorial, we're going over the unit counter symbology, threat assessments, as well as unit orders of battle. Next, we're going to briefly touch on-call artillery, as well as reinforcements. This image you're about to see on your screen is what we're going to discuss throughout this video. It's really straightforward, and everything's really simple to understand. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a complete understanding of everything that's going on your battlefield just by looking at the counters. Here you can see me highlighting several destroyed areas. As you can see, they're both blue and red. These areas identify where units are either destroyed or fell out. The first thing we're going to discuss is the unit status icon. A green circle, yellow triangle, red triangle, and black square. Green circle is ideal. It means your units are well prepared, they have plenty of ammo and morale. As you get a yellow triangle or a red triangle, that means they're more combat ineffective or they're out of HQ range. And obviously a black square is going to mean they're completely combat ineffective and detrimental to your front line and your offensive or defensive. An image is going to appear on your screen with critical information. I would like you to pause and review it now because we're going to discuss the unit size icon. As you can see, we just reviewed a company commander, and that can be identified with that I icon. It's important to make note that the HQ units do not show the unit size, they show the command structure. So as you saw, that was a company unit, where if you look at our video, there are several tank platoons. The current tank platoon I'm hovered over, you can see two symbologies, one in the lower right, an M, and over in the lower left-hand corner, a blue arrow with an arrow pointing away from the unit. These two symbologies show you a brief overview of which direction that unit's going to go, the type of path it might take, as well as its current orders. There's a blue, red, and black arrow, and each one of them corresponds to a different movement order. Black is the least combat ready, and your unit is prioritizing the road and speed over combat readiness. Blue is a deliberate move, and it's prioritizing on and off-road movement while expecting and being prepared for combat. Lastly, the red arrow indicates a unit is assaulting. They're trading cover for speed, attempting to close the distance between an objective and its current position. As we hover over this Kiowa in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see an R. That means rotor. That's its specific movement type. And over in the top left of this anti-tank vehicle, you're going to see a T. That means tracked. L means legs. W means wheels. In the lower left-hand corner of these non-mobile units, you're going to see an S. That means they're currently screening. If there was an H there, it would mean hold. And if it was on-call artillery, over here on this left-hand side, you'll see our artillery piece has an O. And we're going to go more in-depth into on-call artillery momentarily. There are also several other symbols. Some correspond to specific units, like Z for helicopters means hunt. C for artillery means counter battery. And E for engineer means engineering action. The fire support coverage area is going to allow me to see what units are covered and where my artillery can currently attack and what units are currently vulnerable to my barrages. The fire support coverage area is critical. It allows you to identify which targets are within your vicinity, so when you check which units are currently making calls, you can move over and identify what possible hostile was identified or is currently being targeted. Remember that that O symbol meant our artillery was on call, and now we're reviewing all our call for fire orders. We identified location 3719, and we're going to go investigate what unit that is. We also determined that that unit was on the move and a hard target in that current location, and we're currently reviewing what it is and if we're possibly going to hit it. That was the unit that was currently identified for an on-call barrage. Now we're going into another important aspect. It's the personnel and logistics. This is going to allow us to identify what our reinforcements are and our complete order of battle. In order to do this, we're going to navigate up to the staff button and click on personnel and logistics. Here you're going to be presented with several options: staff alerts, detailed unit status, reinforcements, as well as ammunition. Staff alerts is critical, but we're going to touch on it at a later date. Under detailed unit status, it allows us to view our complete order of battle and pick which HQ we want to identify on the map. As you can see, we are selecting our battalion, which is our main HQ unit, and that can be identified with two eyes or two lines. Next up, you see me demonstrating how to select each HQ and how it gets identified on the map as you cycle through them. This is perfect for identifying all your HQs on the battlefield and seeing where they're currently located when doing a quick battle or mid-battle review. Syncing up operations is quite challenging, especially when you have reinforcements. Currently, we have a platoon of Apaches arriving at 1900, which is in 67 minutes. This information is going to allow us to coordinate our unit movements and sync them with the arrival of these perfect anti-tank weapon systems. So before you launch any major operations at the start of the game, it's important to review your reinforcements so you can slowly sync up your operations and ensure that you're not making any mistakes or overcommitting yourself to an operation. As you can see, it gives you a full weapon system breakdown, and it gives you all the ammunition that you currently have. We're going to go more in depth in the ammunition because there's a ton of ammunition types, and they all damage units differently, such as spalling and complete penetration. All this data is going to allow you to complete combat operations more effectively, but it's also going to allow you to immerse yourself in Flashpoint Campaigns Southern Storm. Next, we move on to our intelligence piece of this operation and Flashpoint Campaigns Southern Storm. As a player, you're going to navigate up to the Staff tab and select the Intelligence option. The threat assessment is important to your success on the battlefield. You need to review this before the battle starts. As you see, we have a battalion approaching from the east and one currently stationed north of our position. And we moved our forces in between these two, and we braced ourselves for a more northern assault and not for an eastern offensive. The Intelligence tab has a ton of information, and it's mainly where the electronic warfare is, reported kills and claims, as well as the weather. I think most players will be interested in the reported kills and claims, the electronic warfare, and not so much the weather, but all of those are going to play a factor in how you succeed on the battlefield. On the left-hand side of the reported kills and claims, you're going to see AFD, alive, fallen, destroyed. That's your current unit status. So over on the left-hand side, you'll see this is how many units you have alive, this is how many are fallen, and this is how many are destroyed. In the middle columns, those are how many units you've destroyed. The Intelligence tab acts as like a living document. While you can always review your reported kills and claims, you can also review the current enemy situation report, which is very, very interesting, and it allows you to see how the battle evolves over time and how you're going to respond to the next incoming attacks, as well as how you're going to respond to any electronic warfare. Next up, we're going to play a few rounds of Hunting in the Woods scenario, and if there's any tutorials or mechanics that you would like explained in depth, please leave a comment down below. And if you enjoy military strategy, tactics, and doctrine, and like seeing it applied to strategy games, I guarantee this is the channel for you. So make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And please enjoy the Hunting in the Woods scenario, and let me know what you guys thought of this video.